What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we are going to put our tinfoil hats on. We are trying to read between the tea leaves. And did we just figure out, this is the point that I want to bring up, did we figure out when, not if, but when Aaron Rodgers is going to return this season? We are going to break it all down. I think I have the answer. All right, it is time for my Underdog fantasy picks of the week. Sign up using my code linked down below in the pinned comment and the description of the video. They, for a limited time only, are giving you a 100% match deposit bonus for up to $500. That is you depositing $500, and Underdog Fantasy will give you then $500. Let's get in on the action. There are three things from this game, Jets-Chargers, that I love. The first is Austin Eckler over rushing attempts, 13.5. He has hit that number every single game that he has played in so far this year. He's played 4 games, has hit it 4 times. As for the next play, I want Garrett Wilson over 5.5 receptions. He has gone over to that number in 4 of the last 5 games. The last 2 games from Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 8 catches. They are starting to force feed him the football as they should. And last but certainly not least, let's go to Tyler Conklin, higher on 2.5 receptions. He didn't have any catches last week and just 2 targets, but before that, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row clearing that number. So $10, put that in. 3 correct gets you 60. Sign up using my code over at Underdog Fantasy. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers is promoting this watch, right? Like, he has this new watch deal that he has going on. He's been posting on his social media about it, and he shared an Instagram story of this beautiful green watch, Jets green, things you just absolutely love to see. But if we read a little bit into it, many people online ran with this and came up with Aaron Rodgers hinting at when he is going to return for the New York Jets. It is some Taylor Swift level of Easter eggs in here. So we got to do some digging. It's a little bit, just follow along with me, if you will, for a second. Okay, so let's take a look at this picture. First, we'll start with the date, right? The 28th is the date. Interesting, the 28th. And the second hand on the watch is on the 12th. On 12/28, the New York Jets play the Cleveland Browns on Thursday Night Football. So December 28th, the Jets do play that day. It is Thursday Night Football, a primetime game. Primetime Aaron Rodgers return. Couldn't you just see that? The second to last game of the season. We'll get into the schedule part a little bit at the end of this video. But okay, so 12/28. You think really that might be a stretch, but again, there's more. That's not the only thing. There are 2 things in this that hint towards that. The time on the watch is 10:08. What is the equivalent of 10:08, or what is the importance of 10:08? Well, the date from the injury to the day of December 28th is 108 days. It would have been 108 days from the time that Aaron Rodgers was hurt on September 11th until the time when he returns on 12/28. So that is the significance of the time. Did we just figure it out? 12/28, Aaron Rodgers making his return to the New York Jets. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about when and if he will come back. There's still some who are like, there's no way he's coming back. And there's others like, he's going to be back tomorrow. And that's probably a little too optimistic. But the date or the game that I kind of thought, like, there's 2 that I think could make sense. And the Cleveland one is not necessarily one of those dates that I was thinking, but I'll explain why that one can make sense in a second. But I thought originally, okay, maybe week 18, the last game of the season against the New England Patriots, or Christmas Eve against the Washington Commanders. Those were the 2 games that I thought of. But let's use the Washington Commanders example for a second. That game is on Sunday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Would it be great to have Aaron Rodgers under the tree on Christmas Eve? Yes, of course. But here's the thing. Jets play Sunday and then again on Thursday. Do you want Aaron Rodgers' return to be on a Sunday, right? You come back and play, and then, oh, by the way, quick turnaround. You got 4 days to prep for the next game. So I kind of understand why they might not want to put him in that position at that point if they're in a spot where he can come back and play, right? Like that's also an important part and an important factor in all of this. You're not going to bring Aaron Rodgers back during the season if you're out of the mix. You have to stay in it and you have to continue to stack wins. But again, like the Thursday night, bringing him back for a Thursday night game rather than bringing him back, 4 days earlier kind of makes sense when you consider like, hey, like you got to play on Sunday against Washington and then you don't have your regular week of prep. It's a short week. The guys hate playing Thursday night football, and I hate Thursday night football because I think it's a competitive disadvantage for those two teams who have to play a game 3 days earlier than everyone else. It's honestly a little bit ridiculous, but whatever. But again, the most important thing here, if Rodgers is going to make any sort of comeback on any time, would be that the Jets have to keep themselves in the mix, which is why this game against the Chargers is an important game. But you have the Chargers, Vegas, Buffalo, Miami, Atlanta, Houston, Miami again, Washington. Those are 8 games before a potential Aaron Rodgers return. If you go, can we go even like conservative 4-4, just be 500 in those games, and you're looking at an 8-7 record for when Aaron Rodgers is back. If the Jets are 8-7 and Aaron Rodgers has an opportunity to return, I think he would push for that return. And I think the Jets would push for that return with the chance, again, to improve to 10-7. If you win your last 2 games, 10-7 should be enough to get you in. And a 4-4 is probably on the conservative side over the next 8 games. How about, can you beat the Chargers, the Raiders, Miami once, Atlanta, Houston, and Washington? What if you're 6-2 then at that point, and you're sitting at 10-5, somewhere in that range? That would be incredibly impressive. And then at that point, it's like, hey, like we got a real shot for the division. So I think your best case scenario is you're sitting there at 10-5. Aaron Rodgers come back, get us over the hump, and get us to win this AFC East. Or if you're somewhere around, again, just staying afloat at 4-4, you're coming back at 8-7. Then you have, your final 2 games to try to stack W's and get yourself into the playoffs. Moral of the story is, I am excited about a potential Aaron Rodgers return. Jet fans should be excited about it. And it's something that is on the table for this year. It's not a guarantee. It is absolutely not a guarantee, but it's interesting. It's an interesting thought. And I want to believe that Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Sue me. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.